Hello, my name's Mabel, and I'm 30 years old. Recently, I came into a large fortune, and it revealed the ugly side of my husband. Today, I want to share my story and how I unintentionally exacted revenge on two people at once. To start, let me introduce myself a bit more. Though I grew up away from my grandparents, we were very close. They visited us every few months just to spend time with me. I was especially close to my grandmother, the apple of her eye, and she never ceased to spoil me. When my grandfather passed away when I was 17, I was devastated. My grandmother didn't take it well either. To be closer to her, I chose a college in her state. It was there that I met my ex-husband, Toby. Toby and I started dating in our junior year and had a pretty good relationship. He was everything I was looking for in a partner, so we continued our relationship after graduation. We got engaged a few months later but decided to wait until we were financially stable to get married. In the meantime, since I had a better apartment, Toby moved in with me. While my relationship with Toby was great, his sister Julia and I couldn't get along. She lived in another state with her husband but doted on Toby obsessively. She hated me from the moment we met, probably thinking I was stealing her baby brother. She was always rude and unaccommodating. The only reason I tolerated her visits was her daughter Viola. Viola and I got along very well, and Julia appreciated the break when I looked after her daughter. Despite Julia's behavior, Toby never stood up for me, too afraid to hurt his sister. Not wanting to cause a rift, I kept quiet and dealt with it. 3 years after our engagement, Toby and I were financially stable enough to get married. It was an amazing day, and everything seemed perfect until 4 years into our marriage. Two major events occurred. First, my grandmother passed away, leaving me heartbroken. I inherited about $1 million in money and assets, but her loss overshadowed any material gain. Second, Julia and her family moved back to town. Suddenly, Toby was rarely home, always at Julia's place, and when he was home, Julia was often around. The only solace I found was spending time with Viola. Grieving my grandmother's death, I felt abandoned by Toby. One day, Toby came home alone after work, a rare occurrence. "Hey, sweetie, how was your day?" I asked. "It was pretty good. What about you?" "Oh, same old. I went to meet Julia, and we got to talking." "You seem to be visiting Julia a lot." "You know, we're really close. I miss her and I guess I just feel better when I'm around her. Anyways, do you want to know what we talked about?" "Yeah, sure. Tell me." "Well, I told her we were planning on buying a house." "I'm going to cut you off right there. I never agreed to that." "Just listen to me." Julia asked how I had the funds for it, and I told her about your inheritance. She suggested it would be a great investment. "And why is that?" "You have more than enough money to almost fully purchase a house. I think we should invest in it to be well settled for the rest of our lives. But I want to invest my money elsewhere. What's better than securing a house for ourselves? I can think of several better uses for our future. I don't want to spend all my money on one thing." "It's like you're saying your money is yours and not mine." "Well, it kind of is. I get to decide what I want to do with it, and you have no say in it. Look, you either invest your money in something for both of us, or I'm leaving." "Where would you go?" "You're begging me to buy a house with my money for your future. If you leave, that's your loss." "So you're okay with me leaving because you want to keep your money?" "Don't twist my words, Toby. You're the one threatening to leave if I don't spend on you. I thought you loved me and wanted to spend your future with me. Forgive me for looking out for us. You're really bad at whatever you're trying to do here. I'm keeping my money and deciding how to spend it." "Fine, but could you at least think about spending it on a house for us?" "Sure." I wasn't sure why Toby was so adamant about buying the house, but something didn't seem right. I knew I had to stand my ground. Toby began to distance himself from me. After that conversation, Toby began spending even more time at Julia's place. Julia stopped coming over except to drop Viola off for babysitting. I tried talking to Toby multiple times, asking him what was wrong, but he always brushed me off, insisting everything was fine. Eventually, I gave up, figuring I'd wait until he was ready to talk. However, things took an unexpected turn when Julia dropped Viola off one day. "Hey, Viola, how's my favorite niece doing?" I greeted her. "I'm your only niece," she replied with a giggle. "Still my favorite, though. I hope I'll always be your favorite." "Of course you will be. So what do you want to do today?" "I was thinking we could get our nails done and then have some ice cream." "Yay, Can I paint my nails pink? Of course you can. And can I get strawberry ice cream? Why not? We'll get you everything you want. I only have one niece, and if I don't spoil her, would I really be her aunt? You're my favorite aunt. I really will miss you. Miss me, sweetie. What do you mean? I'm not going anywhere. Are you sure? Yes, of course. Where do you think I'll be going? Well, it's just that. What is it? You can tell me anything. I promise I won't tell anyone else. Okay, well, I heard Mommy and Uncle talking the other day. Uncle as in Uncle Toby? Yeah. Mommy said she's going to help Uncle with getting some cases. Cases? What are you talking about? They kept talking about some cases that would give them some money. Then she told Uncle Toby that he would have a nice big house after you left. You. What? Oh my God, sweetie, when did you hear about this? About 2 days ago. Are you sure you heard correctly? Yes, I'm sure. As soon as Mommy saw that I was listening, she yelled at me to go to my room. She also told me not to tell you anything, but I only told you because you're my favorite aunt. Thank you so much, sweetie. Now enough of this, let's go out and have a fun day. I tried my best to go about the rest of the day as if I hadn't heard what Viola told me. I could tell she felt bad for telling me, but I reassured her she did nothing wrong. I spoiled her just like always. When it was time for her to go home, I made her promise not to tell her mom or Toby what she had told me. Viola promised and hugged me goodbye before Julia picked her up. As soon as they left, panic rose in my chest. I knew something was wrong with Toby, but to trick me into spending my money on him was a new low. It was something I would never have expected from him. Unsure of what to do, I called Toby's father, Edgar, who was a lawyer. Although he could have been in on Toby and Julia's plan, I had a gut feeling that he was a good man. He always treated me like a princess and put Julia in her place whenever she tried to bully me. Edgar picked up the call in his usual cheerful manner. Hello, darling. To what do I owe this phone call? Hi, Edgar. How are you? Oh, I'm doing quite well. What about you? I actually don't know. I called because I need your help. My help. What could I help you with? Isn't Toby around? He is, but he's kind of the problem. Oh no. I always told that boy to treat you right. It's hard to come by women as amazing as you. Thank you, Edgar. You may be the only one in your family who thinks I'm amazing. What are you talking about? Well, I was babysitting Viola the other day, and she told me that Toby and Julia are planning something against me. Against you? What do you mean? Viola didn't know the specifics, but apparently, they plan on taking money from me. What in God's name are you telling me? I don't know exactly what's going on. I'm worried, and I figured I'd come to you for help since you're a lawyer. You did the right thing coming to me. Now tell me, do you believe Viola? I do, because in the past few months, Toby has been distancing himself from me. I tried talking to him about it, but he never took me seriously. All right, and why do you think Julia is involved? Ever since she moved back, Toby has been spending a lot of time with her. It made sense at first since they were apart for years, but now he's at her house for hours every single day. That's strange. Did something happen a few months ago that might have triggered Toby's behavior? Yes, I received my grandmother's inheritance when she passed away. It was a substantial amount. Toby wanted to use it to buy a house, but I was hesitant. Since then, he's been acting weird. My guess is that they're planning to get your money. First of all, I'm so sorry my children are doing this to you. This is not how I raised them. Secondly, why don't you drop by my office tomorrow and we'll figure this out properly? That sounds great. And you have nothing to apologize for. You're clearly a good man. Thank you for helping me. I don't know what I would do without you. I was genuinely grateful that Edgar was willing to help. I hadn't expected him to side with me over his own children, but I was relieved he did. The next day, I took a day off work and went to Edgar's office. Once there, Edgar apologized again for Toby and Julia's behavior. I told him to focus on helping me navigate this situation. We suspected Toby was planning to ask for a divorce, so our first step was to contact all the reputable divorce lawyers in the city for advice. This would limit Toby's access to good lawyers due to conflict of interest, as they would already know my side of the story. Next, we needed to figure out how Toby and Julia planned to take my inheritance. Thankfully, I had kept my inheritance money in a separate bank account and hadn't used it to buy anything for Toby or myself. Although I had planned to buy Toby some luxury items he wanted, that clearly wasn't going to happen now. Since there was no legal way for them to access my money, Edgar and I concluded they might try to steal it outright. We decided to set up a trap to catch them in the act. I had a top-of-the-line security system installed in my apartment due to my paranoia about break-ins. Toby knew and agreed to this when he moved in. I then pretended to have trouble with my bank account, subtly letting Toby know that my bank details were logged on my laptop. Lastly, I told Toby I was going to meet a friend over the weekend, leaving him home alone. I then met Edgar, who would serve as a witness and corroborate my alibi. In the middle of our conversation, I received a notification that money had been transferred from my account to our joint account. I immediately called the police and reported the theft. When I got back from meeting Edgar, Toby was sitting in the dining room and asked me to sit with him. "We need to talk." "Oh? About what?" "About us." "Okay, we're not working out." "I agree." "You agree? What do you mean?" "Well, for starters, I didn't like how you threatened to end the relationship over money, something I would have spent on us had you not done that. I didn't think that you would. And that's another point. You think so little of me, and I don't think that's a sign of a good partner. As if you've been a good partner, you've been selfish since the start, and I only put up with it because I loved you. How in the world was I selfish? I helped you pay off your student loans before mine. I supported you for a whole year when you didn't have a job. I sacrificed so much to make sure you were happy. The few times I didn't do what you wanted, I became a selfish monster to you. Don't act like what you did was some righteous thing. I would have done the same for you. Would you? You never helped me out when I was sick. Why would I think you'd sacrifice your comfort for me when I really needed it? You're just trying to make me feel bad. No, and the last reason I don't want to be with you is that I don't want to be with a lying, manipulative thief. What are you saying? Don't think I don't know about what you and Julia have been planning. I saw you transfer money out of my account into our joint account. I know you wanted to split that during the divorce. No, don't even bother. I know everything. You are a pathetic man, and I see no reason to be with you. Oh well, I'll still get half of what I transferred into our account. I still win. Will you? If I recall correctly, I had security cameras installed in my apartment, and you made that transaction from my laptop when I wasn't home. I've already reported you for theft. The police should be here anytime soon. You did what? Oh, here they come. Good luck. I'll see you in court. The relief I felt seeing Toby finally face the consequences of his actions was unparalleled. The following weeks were a nightmare of courtroom sessions and evidence viewing. Along with the theft charges, I filed for divorce. Edgar, my lawyer, fought long and hard to ensure Toby paid for his crime. Edgar won the case, and Toby was sentenced to 2 years in jail and fined an additional $30,000. Nothing was sweeter than the taste of revenge. Just as Edgar and I were celebrating our victory, Julia approached us. She had been absent during all the previous trials and chose to show up only on the day of the verdict. Her anger was evident as she pointed her finger at Edgar. "Dad, you were helping this witch. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't have helped Mabel." I don't know, because she literally put your son in jail. And he deserved his sentence. It will make him think twice before trying to steal from someone again." "How could you do that to your own son?" "No, Julia, how could you do that to your own brother? Don't think I didn't see the real reason behind your plan. You were going to help Toby get the money so you could also reap the benefits. I was trying to give him a break from this jerk here. You have no idea how toxic she is for him." "I don't think she was the toxic one, Julia. You were a bad influence on him, and he was stupid enough to fall for your little game. He's getting the punishment he deserves, and maybe now he'll think twice before ever listening to you. You know you're going to lose him this way. He will never talk to you again." "Good, because I have no children as far as I'm concerned." "Don't be so dramatic. I'll be here. But I'm not happy with the way you treated my baby brother." "As far as I'm concerned, neither you nor your brother are my children, because I know for a fact that this is not how I raise my kids." "What are you talking about?" "What I'm saying is that I'm disowning both of you. I want nothing to do with either of you." "You can't do that." "I actually can, and I'm going to do just that. This is all Mabel's fault. If she had thought of someone other than herself for a second, this wouldn't be happening." "No, you shouldn't have been so greedy. I was going to spoil Toby with all the things he wanted, but you had to interfere. You took away everything from him, and I hope you sit and think long and hard about what you did to your brother. Goodbye." I grabbed Edgar's hand, and we left. We couldn't help but chuckle at what had happened. I was happy Toby got what he deserved and that I was free of his manipulative ways. I did feel bad that Edgar had lost both his children because of me, but he assured me it was their own decisions that led to this outcome. I took him out for coffee, and we've maintained a good friendship ever since. Julia harassed me over text, but Edgar told her and her husband to leave me alone. This is where I unintentionally got revenge on Julia as well. Julia's husband had no idea about her involvement in what happened between Toby and me, so he called Edgar and was shocked to learn the truth. Their marriage had been on the rocks due to Julia's constant nagging about money while she refused to work. He did not appreciate her extreme actions and asked for a divorce. He also requested and received almost full custody of Viola, with Julia only getting her every other weekend. Thanks to a solid prenup, Julia got little alimony and was kicked out of their house. She blamed it all on me, but I was a little happy to see her get what she deserved. Despite everything, I still got to see Viola often, as she loved me and Julia's ex-husband couldn't say no to her. He was very apologetic, but I reminded him he had nothing to apologize for. And yes, I am spoiling Viola senseless. As for me, my life has only gotten better. I got a promotion at work and hired an accountant to manage my finances. I've invested my money in several places, and it's only a matter of time before I see returns. Getting to where I am today took a lot of struggle, but the view from here is one I'm loving. I have a better understanding of people now, and I'll be much more cautious in the future. Thank you for your time.